Hi, this is Dave with DK Cattle Company. I'm pretty excited about this video. Today I'm going to do a complete guide. So from start to finish, from a cow in the field to walking around like a dog, guide to halter breaking a cow. There's not a good one on YouTube, and I've just been thinking about this video since I started the channel. I was like, this would be a good video idea, and I think this would actually like legitimately help people. Whether you're training a cow for like a show or something like that, you know, a 4-H project with a youth or something, or if you're trying to train a heifer to be your family milk cow or something like that, that's what we're going to do in this case. Is we're going to take a young heifer and we're going to halter break her, just in case I do want to share milk with her eventually. We can. So that's what we're going to do in this video, but this will apply to any animal, any size, any age. It doesn't matter. Like, this will be the video of how to take a cow, like I said, never had a halter on, just a field cow, you know, just hanging out in the field, to a halter broken cow. So I'm pretty excited about it. This is also gonna be my first video that's gonna be like several days long. I'm gonna make it one video, but it's going to take like obviously several days of filming. So I'm excited about that too. So buckle up. I'm gonna have good chapters to the video so you can kind of skip over parts, but this is gonna be a complete guide to halter breaking a cow. No, Rocky, why do you do that? There we go. This is how it's supposed to go, just like this. So there's two types of rope halters. There's this one that is, they both work exactly the same, just this one has a metal clip and it loosens and tightens a lot more freely than just the rope ones. These are great once you have the cow caught for training, because it gives them a lot of feedback versus, you know, just the straight rope ones can get tight, and sometimes they're hard to, like, they don't loosen up great. But sometimes when you try to catch them with this one, it'll get too loose, which obviously isn't ideal. With the animal, you'll always have the tightened side on the left side of the animal. This one's like all twisted up. All right, so the tightened side on the left side of the animal, this behind the ears, and then this below their head. But these are your two options. Honestly, you should have both. I mean, they're like 15 bucks a piece. I think this is actually like 9 bucks, and then this one's like $8, but it's the same thing. So like I said, this one over the head, this side on the left. This one, same thing, over the head, this side on the left side. They both loosen and tighten to any size animal. Like I said, this one is better to catch with because of that rope. It doesn't loosen and tighten as easily. So if you want like a guaranteed loop size or something like that, it's just a lot better for that. So that's the first thing you're gonna do, is buy a halter. Those are your two options. Those are the only two options. You should not be halter breaking with anything else but the two that I just showed. Next thing is you need to set up a horse stall, or an area, a small area, you know, 10 by 10, 15 by 15, that you can put the animal for a couple days while you're halter breaking them. Once you start the halter breaking process, the animal is not going to want to come back to you. If you were to, so if I were to catch, we're gonna halter break Winnie here. If I were to catch her, start halter breaking, we do like a day session. I keep her tied up for a couple hours, and then I let her go. It would be extremely hard to catch her the next day, and I probably wouldn't be able to catch her the next day. So it kind of makes it so it just every day would become harder and harder to get that animal. You need a good 4 or 5 days to halter break a cow, so you need a place to put them. I have a horse stall, so I'm going to put fresh hay in there, I'm going to put water in there, and before I catch them, and then I'm going to catch them and put them in that horse stall, and then that's where we're going to start the training at. The next thing that you're going to need, it'd be nice to have a small area that is smaller than a pasture but bigger than a horse stall, that you can walk around the animal on a lead, you know, when you're first starting out halter breaking them. So So something smaller than a pasture, like I said, but bigger than a horse stall. Maybe something that's like 30 by 30 or 40 by 40 or something like that would be nice to have. You don't need it, but it's helpful. So you have a halter, a stall to keep them in, a space to walk them around in. Are you serious? That's funny. All right, a stall to keep them in, a place to walk them around in that's smaller than your pasture, but also bigger than the horse stall. The next thing you're gonna need is something bigger than you. And that is going to be either a four-wheeler or a tractor. You could use your vehicle, but you need something that you can hook the rope end of the halter to and walk the cow around. So those are really the only things you're gonna need, but you need all of those things. You could get away with not having the small space, but we'll show you how that comes in handy later in the video. But those are really the only things you need. Let's get into how to catch them. All right, so let's catch the cow. So we're gonna catch Winnie. She's a young heifer. She's about 9 months old now. Yeah, so going on a year. We're gonna catch her. I'm gonna show you kind of the setup that we're gonna do. So she's a 9-month-old Dexter, smaller cow, but the way I'm gonna catch her is going to work for any size animal. You have a 2,000-pound cow and this would work. Maybe not that big. Let's say 1,200 pounds. I would catch a 1,200-pound cow this way, but we'll show you the setup. So we're right next to the fence right here. This is the gate. And then tractor's right here. We have one of the rope halters tied to the 3-point, and then I have another halter tied to that one just to have enough rope. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the halter on her. I'm gonna try to put the halter on her like a halter. I'll show you how to do that, how to kind of catch them with it. And then we're gonna tighten it, start the tractor, and just drag her on out and take her to the barn. I could probably, especially with another person, I'm by myself. If I had another person with me and she was a small cow like this, what I would try to do is get the halter on her, have the halter on her. She'd probably freak out a little bit, but have the halter on her and hold her, and then try to walk with her with someone behind her, kind of nudging her along. She's small enough that you could do that, but remember that a cow has 4 legs and you have 2. Even if they look small and they don't look like they're gonna put up that much of a fight, they can. So be careful when you're doing this, that you're not, like, let's say if I was by myself and I got her and I'm gonna go outside of the pasture, well, what if you lose her, you know, and stuff. So the better way to do this would be to take them through the pastures here, you know, through pasture 2 to 1 and then into the thing. That way, if you did lose the animal, they're in a fenced in area. So that's kind of the better way to do it. But I already have the tractor right here, so I was like, let's just tie it to the back and let's just move with it, kind of thing. I'm confident in my knots. I yanked on it real good, so it should be more than fine. So we should be good to go. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some grain. We're gonna feed it pretty close to this gate here. I'm gonna get the halter on her. We're gonna pull her, and then we're gonna pull her on out. So let's see how it goes. Like I said, I could probably manhandle her a little bit, but the purpose of the video isn't to show what I can do to a 9-month-old Dexter. It's to show how anybody could halter break a cow. So if you haven't watched my socialization video, maybe watch that if your cows are a little crazier than this. But if you can get the cows to the point that they will, here, wait, let me get that. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Get out of here, Rocky. Get out of here. I gotta protect myself a little bit. Oh, geez, you guys are like really going crazy. All right, so but the whole purpose of the video is to show how you can halter train really any cow. So with that in mind, I'm going to try to attempt to catch her in a way that you could catch like just about any cow. The only difference, so if she was like crazier than she is, which obviously she's not very crazy. If she was crazy, I would, if she was crazy, I would just rope around the neck, and I might have to do that still. But if I can get this around her, maybe touch her a little bit. There we go. So this is her right here. So I got rope on her head. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I just got it on her neck. That's fine. Starting the tractor. So she went over here now. So it's just getting kind of messed up, but it's fine. So this is where an extra set of hands would be nice, because it'd be nice to get. So what we're gonna do, come on Winnie, you're okay. So what we're gonna do is kind of, there we go, perfect. There we go. All right. All right, so that kind of went bad. It is what it is. And we're gonna make sure that knot doesn't slip too much. But what we're gonna do is, just now that we have her over here, we're just gonna slowly pull over, because we have to remember that it's around her neck. It's not ideal. That come on Winnie, come on honey. Just nice and easy. I'll probably skip through this a little bit, but all right, so we made it. There's Winnie right there. We're gonna shut the gate just in case she does get away. All right, so my little Winnie is, oh, she's fine. She's gonna be a little freaked out, but she is fine. The rope is loose, like she's breathing, she's okay. I know that looks worse than it is. So basically what I would do here, if I had a crazier cow, I would take a rope, tie it to this rope, then take it to a come along in here and come along them in. That's what I would do. So you just tie it to that rope, then come along them in. I honestly think I'll just be able to get her to come in. Wait one second, let me grab another halter and get her kind of resituated. You're okay, honey. There we go. All right. So that's how I wanted to catch her. Here, come over here. You're okay. So that's, I probably should have did that in the pasture. I'm not gonna reshoot it. So like I said, come on, Winnie, you're okay. So see how, I'm not trying very hard. I'm just using my body weight. I'm pulling her in. So this is what you do for a smaller animal like Winnie is. You're okay. I'm just gonna give her a break for a second. For a smaller framed animal like Winnie, she's also a very calm animal. She's comfortable with me. This isn't too bad. I should have did this. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But at least we showed, if you had a crazier animal, that's the only way you could catch them. Just get a rope around them, pull them nice and slow like I did. That's what you do with a crazier animal. I should have got the rope around her neck, and I should have did this over there. That would have been the smarter thing to do. I just didn't think, I didn't think about it. I should have did it like that. But now that we have her over here, like I said, I'm not gonna drag her in there just to show how to drag her in there. She's light enough that I can pull her. Like, again, just using my body weight. I'm just gonna lean, just give her a little bit at a time. See, I'm not even using my muscle at all. I'm just using my body weight. I'm just pulling her little bits at a time. I can, and even to that point, I can do it one-handed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna relieve pressure. I'm gonna move her. This is exactly how you're gonna halter train her later. Relieve pressure, then move her. All right. Come here, Winnie. Let me get behind her here. All right, I was able to get her in here. I just was able to scoot around her and shut this gate. That's what's kind of hard about making a video like this is, you know, like when I got her out of that pasture, I probably should have put the halter on her then and then retied it. But I really didn't think about that till I got her in here, and it's obviously, you know, you can't redo it once you get down the road of it. But that's how I would get her in here. Like I said, if you had a cow that's a little bit crazier, Winnie has a really good personality. She's a really good cow. You know, they don't know what you're trying to do to them and stuff. Like she's a really good cow. But they don't know what you're trying to do to them. So just be patient with them, pulling them over. We'll probably fast forward through the section, or I'll probably skip over the section of dragging her over here. But I just went real slow, stay calm. I was talking to her the whole time. It would be nice to have somebody behind her, kind of pushing her a little bit, or, you know, I'm the most familiar with her. It would be nice if I was with her, kind of like, come on, you know, and then had like my wife or somebody else driving the tractor. But I really want to make this video by myself to show that you can do it by yourself, and to show that like you could do that with any animal. So the way we caught her, putting the rope around her neck, pulling her through the gate, anyone could have done that. Like there's really no part to that wasn't, you know, that was manhandled or anything like that. Again, I did kind of just drag her into the horse stall, but if it was an animal that was too big to do that, all you would do is put a come along or some sort of device inside the corral or stable or whatever small area you're keeping the cow. You'd put that in there, and then you'd bring them in, or in my case, see how there's posts here? I would wrap a rope around it and then through, and then pull them to at least get them to here, and then try to kick their butt the rest of the way in. And they would kind of flip around into this side, shut the gate, and then loosen it, and then take the halter off. So that's how that went. Just our simple setup in here. We got our hay right here. I just filled this up with hay, and this will last probably 2 days, and I just fill it as needed. And then just fresh water in a 5-gallon bucket. I just gave her some grain for being a good girl. She's a good cow, like I said. She'll hold her train really nice. But just give her some grain, and I'll give her some grain every day during the training process, just because I want to make it as positive of an experience as it can be. This is a really, really good time for socialization training. If you haven't done so already, if it's a little bit crazier of a calf, really good time to do that. Just be mindful about your safety and the cow's safety, obviously, during that time. But that's how I'd catch them. And tomorrow, I'm gonna give her a break today, and then tomorrow we're gonna actually start the halter breaking itself. But that's this part. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, it is the next day. We're here with Winnie, and we're gonna start halter training. Last night after I got her in here, I kind of freshened up her bedding a little bit. But she spent the night in here. She did good. She's fine and everything. We're gonna start the halter breaking process. So again, with this halter, we want where it tightens to be on the left shoulder. Where the line that tightens is going to be under her chin. This is going to be over her chin, over the top of her nose, and then this is going to be behind her head. Make sure it's oriented right, that you don't have this upside down like this or anything like that. You don't want this over her nose and tightening like that. You want it under, again, under her chin when you're doing it. So that's really the orientation you want. Through this whole process, you really have to consider safety when you're doing any of this stuff. Winnie is a very calm cow and is a very good cow. It's in my best interest to keep it that way, like to handle her as gently as I can, because she is already a gentle cow. But let's say you had a more crazy animal and you got them into the area that you plan on keeping them for this period of time, and you wanted to start the halter breaking process. Simply what you would do is exactly what we did yesterday, just on this scale. You would back the tractor up to the stall, you would rope them around the neck, you would pull them to the stall door, and then you would put the halter on them, then tie up the halter, then remove the rope from around their neck. And that's how you would start. Winnie, as you can see, has no problem with me. She's not, you know, a jacked up cow, and so she just laid down. So for her, we're going to skip that step. I'm not going to put her through that for no reason. We're going to skip that step, and we're just going to put the halter on her. The reason we couldn't do this in the field is because she has a whole field to run in. She'll probably back herself into this corner, and I'm going to put it on her. But that's how we're going to do that. And then we're going to tie her up to the wall here, and we're going to leave her there probably for an hour to 2 hours at the most. All right, so let's do it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bend down. I'm going to get it around her ears first. Good girl, Winnie. Good girl, you're fine. And then I'm going to bring it down. See how she's kind of fighting it a little bit, but not bad. She's burying her nose, that's funny. All right, come on, honey. Up here. I'm trying not to move my feet too much. All right. There we go. All right, see how it's kind of twisted a little bit? That's okay. Just stay calm. Don't. All right, yeah. Oh, come here, honey. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. There we go. There we go. Got it. There we go. So, again, for this part of the train, I really like the metal one. I do feel like the rope one goes on easier. I like the rope one isn't a complete waste in a lot of ways. I mean, it does serve a purpose. Oh, here we go. So let's just let her have it on for a second. That's what we're going to do here. Like I said, with Winnie, she's a calm cow. Come here, Winnie. Come here. Come here. Come here, Winnie. See, I'm just barely. She's a calm cow already, so we don't want to ruin her through this process. We don't want to be rough on her and stuff. Really, with this kind of training, you want to meet the cow where they're at. Winnie's honestly already at a point that we could probably walk around with her inside the barn, like the garage area. This little barn is probably 20 by 20 feet. It's not I wish it was a little bit bigger of an area, but we could probably do that already with her. But during this stage, we're going to tie her up for an hour to 2 hours every day. We're going to do it for probably 2 days for a cow like Winnie. If you have a cow that's a little bit crazier, maybe isn't as used to you, it could take up to a week if you're trying to get that cow to a more socialized point before you move on to actually trying to lead them around. Like I said, Winnie is she's very comfortable with me. She's not freaking out or anything. This is safe for me to be in here with her in tight quarters. I trust that she is fine with me. But with any other cow that's a little crazier, you don't trust them as much, make sure you do all this stuff, getting the ropes on them and everything, from a safe distance outside of the containment area, and tie them up before you go in with them, and make sure you have an exit strategy in case that animal were to break free somehow. And when you tie the animal up, you need to make sure that whatever you're tying them to is a strong enough anchor point for that animal. When you have them, tied for an hour and you're sitting there with them and you're touching them and maybe they don't like the way you're touching them or something, you really have to have them in a situation that you can get away from them and that they're not going to break off something and break something in your barn or hurt themselves or something like that. So safety is the number one thing with any of this stuff. But so we've let Winnie get kind of used to the halter a little bit. So now we're going to tie her up. She's see how this, with that metal on the bottom, it just loosens up really nice. So I really like this one for getting them started, just because you can, it really gives them a lot of feedback. What you're teaching them with these halters is that when the rope gets tight, it squeezes their head, and when it loosens, it gives them relief. So it's in their best interest to walk with you and not let the rope get tight. So you should never be like pulling as hard as you can on a cow. You should be giving a pull and then a relief, and then a pull and then a relief. So tying them up is going to teach them that when that rope is tight, I can't get away from that. Like when that rope gets tight, it's tight, and that's where it stops, and I can't get any further away from that. And it teaches them that feedback of when it's tight, it squeezes on my head. When it's loose, I have relief. So that's what tying them up does. So that's why you do it for a couple hours. And see how she's pulling against it? You want to give them enough slack that they can learn that, you know, it can get loose. You don't want it too tight, because the purpose, like I said, is not to teach them, is to not just have it tight. The purpose is that they learn that this is tight on their head, and they learn that they can relieve that pressure. So you're going to sit with them for an hour to 2 hours, and you're going to let them figure it out. The reason you have to stay with them the whole time is because if she freaks out and she jumps on this rope or something, they can hurt themselves in this process. You really want to be with them the whole time to make sure that they don't hurt themselves or anything like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand up. Yeah, see how that kind of gave her some. But I'm going to stand with Winnie. I'm going to pet her. So a cow has a lot of force forward and backward, but they don't have a lot of force side to side. So if I was petting Winnie and she started freaking out, I'm going to keep my hands out like this, and I'm going to keep her rump from coming over. So if I just push here, she'll stay over even on a much larger animal. You should be able to control them at least enough to step out of the way and get out of the way. But always remember that, is that a cow can pull hard and can pull away hard, but side to side, they're not, that's their weakest point. You're okay, honey. So this is a good, like I said, hanging out with them, petting them, and then make sure the halter is sitting nice on their head, and they're just getting used to the halter. It's, see, it's nice and loose. I can put my hands in it. She's not, and then look, she's gonna learn that it gets tight when you pull on it. So we're at about an hour. To recap, we met her at her comfortability level, and we put the halter on her to start. If she was a more wild animal, we would have roped her around the neck, pulled her to the door of the stall, then put the halter on her, then took the rope around her neck off, then tied her up, then begun socialization work. While she was tied up, we pet her and did stuff like that. Pet her, spent time with her, talked to her. If you're not comfortable trying to start petting the cow and touching the cow and doing that more desensitization training, then simply sitting with the cow, even on the other side of the gate, especially if the cow's more crazy, stay on the other side of the gate. But talking to the cow, spending time with the cow is really important. If you have a more crazy cow, stay outside of the area that you are halter breaking them in, and just sit with them and maybe read a book or a magazine to them, but just talk with them. It's important to stay with them the whole time to make sure that they don't actually wrap themselves up in the rope or anything like that. Now that it's been an hour, we're going to take her off of the halter, and we're going to give her a treat of some grain, just as like a incentive for getting through the hour. We're going to repeat this process again tomorrow, and we're probably going to go for our first walk tomorrow. So you're going to do this for an hour to 2 hours a day, and you're going to stay on this step. You're going to do this every day until the animal is calm in the halter, stands nice in the halter, doesn't pull against it the whole time, and lets you pet them and interact with them and touch them. That is your indicator to move on to the next step, that you can move on to the next step. But until then, this is what you're doing every day. So now we're going to release her from the halter. We're going to move obstructions out of the way. And we're gonna back her up. Back up, Winnie. Good girl. For her, if she was comfortable with me, I'm gonna loosen the metal first so that this is loose. I'm gonna grab the back of the head here, over the ears really fast, down. That's how you get her off. So that's what we did today. Tomorrow, we'll do the same thing, followed by walking her around a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that. But that's it for now. Have a good day. So it's day 3 here. We got Winnie here. So it's second day of halter breaking in the horse stall, but day 3 total. We're gonna get her on the halter for a little bit. We're gonna tie her up for about an hour, and then we're gonna pull her around with the tractor. So always around the ears first. Winnie doesn't seem to see how she's gonna drop her head a little bit, which is fine. I'm not. You're fine. She's out of frame a little bit, but she's just she doesn't want it to go around her nose, which is okay. Watch your good girl. All right, it's been about an hour. I have the tractor backed up to the gate here. If Winnie was a wilder animal, what I would do is tie her up over here, like have it run through something over there, then tie her up to this so I can access it from the outside. Then I would run it through the gate and then to the back of the tractor here. If I can get the tractor, but to the back of the tractor. Winnie's not crazy. She's pretty easygoing. So we're just gonna tie her lead to the 3-point, and we're gonna lead her around the yard for about 10 minutes. What we're gonna focus on is getting her to realize that I want her to walk with me and not pull against the rope. So we're gonna walk with her and try to get her to stop pulling against the rope. How you know you're ready to move on to this step is the animal, like even with the tractor backed up, she's calm on the rope, she's not freaking out or anything. I can touch her, I can pet her and handle her while she's on the halter. She's a little wound up because I just backed the big tractor right up to her, but she's standing nice with the halter. That's kind of your indicator to move on to this step. So let's without further ado, all right, so we have her all hooked up. We just tied it to the back. We want a good amount of slack here, but just be careful when you start moving. Hey, make sure it's tight because I'm gonna take her out of the pasture. But just make sure when you start moving that she's not tripping on it and stuff. That's kind of the hard part with this step, is it needs to be loose because you don't want them dangerously close to the wheels of whatever you're using, whether it's a 4-wheeler, side-by-side tractor, something bigger than you car. But it also has to be tight enough that they're not walking on it all the time. And that's kind of a good indicator to move on to walking them around yourself though, is if it's loose all the time, so loose that they're walking on it, well that means it's time for you to start leading them around because they get the gist that they shouldn't be walking, that they shouldn't have tension on the rope. So kind of a trade-off there, but all right, let's walk her around a little bit. So as you can see, she has it pretty tight. She's fighting it pretty good. So I'm just gonna drive her around the yard a little bit. I'm gonna kind of keep her on, you know, my little paths and stuff because it's wet. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna slow down, I'm gonna go at like a walking pace. But I wanna give her the opportunity to loosen the rope. So I don't wanna like drive at a consistent pace, if that makes sense. I don't wanna like just drag her around. I want to slow down at points to give her a chance to catch up with the tractor kind of thing and realize that, you know, she doesn't have to fight it. But so I'll just kind of film a little bit of this, not the whole thing, but just kind of give you an idea of like what we're looking for. Come on, Winnie. Come on. Come on. Kind of glad this is going like that. I mean, I'm not glad it's going like this, but she's been doing so great so far that I was kind of thinking like this is going to be a crappy video because I'm just going to be showing like how great Winnie is. But this is totally normal. This is how this should go. I mean, you just went from standing there loose on a halter, especially with her temperament, is gonna be easy for her. She's not a crazy cow. She's not gonna be freaking out with that halter on. But now that we're trying to move, this is a really foreign concept to her, and it's freaking her out. She's like, I wanna stop, I wanna stop, I wanna stop. And this tractor's teaching her that, hey, you can try to stop as much as you want, but we're going. So it's teaching her that you wanna move with the tractor, you don't wanna fight against it, you're just wearing yourself out. So I'm gonna continue to go slow. I was going too fast there for a minute. She told me I need to slow down. So I'm gonna go real slow. I'm gonna go in a little loop. I'm gonna do it a bunch of times. We'll skip to when, you know, to more the end of the walk, but we're probably only gonna do this for 10 minutes. So see how she adjusted her feet? Like, let them get their feet underneath them, especially if they're fighting you a lot. Let them get their feet underneath them every now and again and kind of realize, kind of calm down, and then continue. Always talk to them, always say like, come on, or whatever phrase you want to use, but just give them some sort of motivation that isn't, you know, just dragging them around. All right, see, I went and ran inside and grabbed gloves real quick, and just in those couple, like 30 seconds, she's already kind of loosened up on it. So don't think that she's fighting because she wants to, not because she has to. Hey, I'm just gonna make this video really quick. So I ended up just taking her back. She was just dragging her feet way too much, and then she kind of got to the point where she was kind of walking with the lead, but she started to lay down, which just isn't conducive to making any sort of progress. So I took her back to the stall, and we're gonna just try again tomorrow. Really, in a situation like that, I started to get frustrated, you know, and you really need to be coming from a place of patience when you're doing this kind of thing. So I was just sensing myself starting to get frustrated. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna end this, and I'm just gonna take her back, because once they start laying down, you got to get them on their feet. It just, you know, becomes this cycle. She's not laying down because she's hurt or anything like that. It's a defense mechanism. It's easy for them to just, you know, lay down, and it's like their last line of defense, their last line of defiance, kind of thing. So that's how far we got today. Tomorrow we're going to try probably just to tie her up again, and then we probably won't do the tractor again until later tomorrow, but we'll see. All right, thank you. Bye. All right, it's been a couple days. I've tied Winnie up for an hour every day since the tractor failure. Today we're going to use a side-by-side, and we're going to tie her next to the side-by-side and see if that makes a big difference. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie her up right next to on the passenger side. That way we're still on the left side, still applying pressure from the left side. Instead of the animal being directly behind the tractor, we're gonna have her next to the side-by-side. I think that might make a big difference. And like I said, what we're looking for is for her to figure out that she needs to walk with the vehicle to maintain that lessened pressure on the halter. If she stops and the vehicle keeps going, or the vehicle stops and she pulls against it, she's going to apply pressure on her halter. But if she walks with the vehicle and with the rope, it is not going to apply pressure, and she won't have pressure on the halter. Come on, Winnie. Come on, Winnie, good girl. All right, in this stage, I'm not looking for perfection. This is kind of perfect. I'm giving her a command of, come on, Winnie. That's her command to walk. And I'm just having her walk with me. And she is starting to walk. Good, which is good. I'm just gonna have her walk with me. But she looks really good right now. I wanna make sure that she can do this for a little bit. So we're gonna do this probably for 15 minutes, just walk around. She's still making the rope tight at times. I just give her the come on, Winnie command. And if she doesn't come, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out of the side-by-side. I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna give her the same command. Come on, Winnie. Come on, Winnie. Good girl. Get her to relieve that pressure is what you're looking to do. All right, so I led her around with the side-by-side. Like I said, when you're using a vehicle like a tractor, side-by-side, four-wheeler, whatever, you know, another vehicle, it's better to see them lead than drag. You can correct leading, you can't really correcting dragging. I mean, that's the whole point of using a vehicle, is to get them to not drag. So we kind of saw what we were looking for as far as she walked with the side-by-side for the most part. If she stopped, I could correct her by getting out of the side-by-side and she would correct. So hopefully we can move to walking with her in the next day or two. All right, this is the next day after introducing the side-by-side. We're gonna do it for a little bit longer today and see what she looks like. She looked pretty good yesterday, but she's been so slow to take to this process that I really wanna make sure that she's 1000% before moving on to leading myself. So we're gonna get her hooked up to the side-by-side again, and hopefully she'll improve even more, and I can show you kind of what I'm looking for this particular cow, because she's taking a while. So Winnie, today I have her tied higher than before and with a much shorter lead, and I'm looking for her not to walk through, like not to have to get out to get her to keep walking. I'm looking for her to figure out that when I say come on, that means to come on. So going a little bit better today, but I'll kind of show you how the setup's going. Come on, Winnie. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. That was perfect. That was perfect. So she corrected herself and she figured out that she had to keep going. Before, she wouldn't have done that. So that's good. That's what I'm looking for. She's pretty tight on that front end, so you obviously have to make sure you don't run them over. I'm going 1 mile an hour, so obviously I'm not like going crazy fast or anything. I like the road because it's a force multiplier. In a lot of ways, it's a foreign place for the cow. They're not used to walking on the road. So it's a good, weird, you know, different environment for them. But also when you're walking the cow, you have way more traction with shoes on than they do with their 4 hooves on pavement. So it's a force multiplier for you to not lose control of the cow. So with that, you could take a cow that, you know, in the dirt or the mud, they can drag you around, you can drag them around on pavement, no problem, because like I said, they have no traction whatsoever on pavement. Obviously not everybody has a paved road that's also extremely unbusy, so it's kind of a sweet spot where it's not dirt, but it's also probably has the traffic of a dirt road. But yeah, that's what I like to do, kind of a hack that I like. All right, so Winnie's doing pretty good, so I'm gonna try to walk her on the road, on the lead, and see how that goes. So come with me when we do that. Good girl. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same route with Winnie that I just did on the side-by-side. I'm gonna do it walking with her. I'm gonna see if she can do it. She's a little tight on the halter, but that's fine. Honestly, like I'll take that she's walking with me, so that's fine. Again, I love the road for this. I know some people are gonna be like, I would never do that, but for me, this is the way to do it, because you just have so much control of the animal on pavement. See, the pressure will come in time. As long as she knows that she needs to walk with you, that's what matters, you know? That's what you're trying to do. I mean, I'm not exerting a lot of pressure. The line is tight, but it's not, I'm not like trying in any way, shape, or form. All right, let's turn around. Come on, Winnie. Come on. Come on, let's turn around. Good girl. I'm gonna fake her out a little bit because this isn't, all right. Good girl, Winnie. Good girl. A big thing to note as I'm leading her around for the first time, notice the length that I'm giving her. I'm giving her a good, healthy amount of rope. I would like it to be looser, but this is just the way she wants to walk with it, so I'm gonna let her. But notice that I'm not right on her. I'm not aggressive with the rope in any way, shape, or form. She's kind of leading me around a little bit too much, pulling a little bit. How you correct this behavior is you're gonna do a circle with her. Come on, Winnie. Come on, Winnie. Come on. And that'll kind of reset the pace of the walk. And you'll do that more and more as you're training, but just that reset of a circle really gets them where you want them to be. Come on, Winnie, come on, good girl. Again, we're not focused on keeping her head super high. We're not focused on her leading perfectly. We're focused on her not pulling us around. It's the one thing that she's kind of getting into. But just focus on her walking with us. She's learning that she needs to walk with me, which is good. All right, come on, honey. All right, you're leading a little too much. You're getting a little too leady, honey, it's called. You're okay. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. The only way is up from here. I'm very excited. That went really good. She took so much longer than the bull calf that I did this with. When I set out to make this video, I was so excited because I was like, oh, dude, Mac, he has like not that great of a personality, and he just took to it in a couple days. Like, this will be a really cool video because there's not really a good video on YouTube about how to halter break cows, like, you know, kind of a complete guide and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be sweet. And she just really challenged me every step of the way. She just was not getting it. And like I said, if you have a cow like that, you just have to stay patient and you have to be persistent. She almost halter broke me before I halter broke her. I was getting to the point that I was like, I'm gonna have to just pick a different cow or something. But she's turning out good. She's starting to get it. You just have to be very patient and take your time with it and everything. I'll probably still use the side-by-side tomorrow. We'll see how she goes again, but she did really good with it tied up pretty tight and high like that. You just have to make sure that you're not like running them over or anything like that. But that definitely more simulates like an actual walk because her head is in a higher position, that rope is in a higher position. So she did really good with it, and I just walked her back from the road to here, so it went good. All right, it's the next day. No side-by-side, no tractor, nothing. We're gonna take her for a walk. Let's go. Here, come on, Winnie. Just gonna keep a nice gentle lead on her. We're gonna go for a walk. See how she does. She's doing good. I'm being really patient with her. Just letting her kind of do her thing and figure it out. Not rushing her. But she's doing pretty good. She's pulling a little bit, but not as hard as she was yesterday. We're gonna get to a part of the property that's like just dirt. So she'll have no distractions as far as food or grass growing or anything like that. She'll know she's just on a walk. Okay, so as you can see, Winnie didn't do perfect, but for our purposes, she's about where we want her. I'll probably just iron out a few kinks tomorrow with her, but that's it. Depending on what level of halter trained you want to get your cow to, you would just repeat this step, just keep walking them every day until they're at a comfortability level that you want them at. But it really isn't that complicated. This step is honestly the easiest of all the steps. Once you get them to understand that they need to walk with you, it's really... It's a breeze from there kind of thing. So let's recap what we did. We caught the cow. We tied up the cow for an hour a day in a horse stall or some sort of corral situation, hour, 2 hours a day for 2 to 3 days. We socialized the cow while they were tied up and brushed them, pet them, got them very used to us. Then we pulled the cow around, with a tractor, side by side, some sort of vehicle that isn't us, that is capable of making that animal move when they might not want to move. But all we're doing there is just introducing, going from a stationary point to a moving point. And then we started walking around the cow by ourselves, implementing the same practices that we've implemented from stationary to vehicle to now you walking them. And then we repeat that walking around process until the animal is as halter broke as we need them. And then after I walk her around tomorrow for a little bit, I'm going to release her back with the girls and give her about a month break. After that month break, I'm gonna catch her, take her for a walk for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna let her go. Probably another month, I'll do it again. But really, once they learn it, they kind of have it down. Like Mac, I didn't have a halter on him for 3 or 4 months. I put a halter on him, it was like we never stopped kind of thing. They typically remember. Another thing is everybody halter breaks cows a little different. This is just a method that works for me, and I like this method because anyone can do it on any cow, whether it's a full-size Angus cow or a little bitty Dexter calf. You could do this to any cow, and that's why I wanted to make the video, is that, you know, to present a method that anyone can implement on any cow. Everyone has different ways of halter breaking. There's no end-all be-all way to do it. If you halter break cows different, please leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, please like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you've stuck around this long, I really appreciate you watching this video. I know it's a longer one, so I really appreciate your viewership. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and have a good day. Bye.